Get to work at 5 o'clock. Morning briefing at 6:30. It's just another day at the office. Or is it really?
There's a lot to juggle in the field, so life in the field can be quite hectic. It takes 3 hours to do a full warm-up of all the instruments on this aircraft. That means a start at 5 a.m. in the morning and a takeoff at about 8 a.m. The forecasters will look at the conditions to verify that the flight is ready to go, and the plane will take off for an 8-hour flight.
So, if you're a scientist studying air pollution, where should you be doing your research? Yep, that's right, in the air.
And once the plane takes off, the fun begins. There's a lot of talk on the headsets about what we're seeing and whether it makes sense in terms of what the models had predicted. Don't forget that this aircraft is flying in the atmosphere to verify whether the models can do a good job of predicting air quality. Each flight begins with a pass through the city of Seoul for a chance to see what that looks like. And then we go to high altitude to fly along the peninsula along a route that we've chosen and looking down with what we call the LiDAR. The lasers that point underneath the aircraft provide information on the pollution levels at different altitudes down toward the ground. And we have to use that information to decide where we will want to sample in altitude along that same path following the LiDAR paths. That 8-hour flight does not stop us from continuing forecasting on the ground and trying to give information to the flight as it happens in case conditions change. And so those days can be very busy between planning tomorrow's flight but making sure that today's flight happens well.
There's a lot to do on the flight days for the scientists on board the aircraft. However, there are other teams that also have to be working around the clock in order to have these airborne laboratories ready for investigating the atmosphere.
On this mission, the maintenance crew is pretty busy. We've got so many scientists on board. All the scientists have different needs and requirements, such as changing out some of the gases they have on the airplane. They also need to definitely make sure the airplane is pre-flight right, so we're good to go. Check out a lot of the systems. They're refueling the airplane. Before the flight, they take off all those covers off all the probes, which actually takes quite a while, quite a bit of time. And then after the flight, they need to put those back in place. So, the maintenance crews are the guys. They're the first guys to show up in the morning and the last guys to leave at the end of the day. They make sure we have a good jet for that day's mission. And if we break the jet on that mission, they're the ones who've got to fix it and get it ready for the next one.
Teamwork is the key to a successful campaign. The KORUS-AQ mission involves the coordinated effort of over 500 people.
So we have about 505 people registered on the mission website, and of those, about 300 have been active participants at some point during the deployment, and we had to ensure that everybody had access when they needed.
Scientists, crew, technicians, but also equipment, supplies, logistics. A massive scientific research mission requires planning ahead and effective management.
Preparations for something of this size begin years in advance. And so, having already visited here with the Earth Science Project Office several times, we were able to put together a situation that would enable this many scientists and this many resources to be put into play.
ESPO is involved in all phases of the mission, from its conception to its planning and the implementation. We need to understand what the researchers want, which become our requirements, and then we come here and see how we can best meet those requirements, whether they are logistical or operational.
The Earth Science Project Office is in charge of managing the mission. Anything you need to accomplish your objectives during the mission, they are the people to go to.
Entering a foreign country is very difficult with all the things that we bring. Operating in a foreign country is difficult because their airspace is very busy and maybe some of their procedures are different than ours. And keeping the flow of people and information and equipment smooth and in a way that does not interrupt or distract us from the science is a great talent, and we appreciate the Earth Science Project Office's support.
They are the ones making sure scientists have everything they need to keep working every day. So if you want to do a good job, you have to go to the right place and measure at the right time with the right people. And for these people, the right place is in the air. Although in the end, for them, maybe it wasn't just like another day at the office.
Yeah, it's a totally different experience.
The work we do here day to day is much different than what we do in the lab.
I've been waking up pretty early at about 4 a.m. and then we get out here at about 5 to warm up our instrument because the laser takes a while to warm up to peak power.
We'll be taking out gas cylinders and putting in new ones.
After every flight, we switch out the air canisters for the next day's flight.
Filling water or calibrating the instruments, making sure they're running correctly.
And then we come back out and mess with the laser a little more.
So I've definitely developed my muscle mass here.
You know, it's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun, and definitely different from just working in a lab or in an office all the time.